You are too soft to win, and you are afraid that the cure is worse than the sickness. You feel it every time the world pushes you and you fold. The deal you let slip because you would not press. The line someone crossed while you smiled and swallowed it. The credit you watched another man take. The room you walked out of smaller than you walked in. The respect you keep almost earning and never quite holding. You are tired of being the reasonable one, the easy one, the one who is never the problem and never the threat and never, somehow, the one who wins. And so a darker thought has started to visit you, late, when the day's small surrenders are stacked up where you can see them. Maybe you need to get hard. Maybe you need to stop being so decent. Maybe the people who keep winning are simply willing to be something you are not willing to be. And your goodness is not goodness at all, but a kind of cowardice you have learned to be proud of. But that thought frightens you, because you have seen what hard men become. You have watched good people grow teeth and lose their faces, watched them get what they wanted and turn into something you would not want to sit beside. And somewhere underneath the wanting, you are afraid that if you finally got strong enough to win, you would no longer recognize the man doing the winning, that the price of becoming dangerous is your own soul, and that no victory is worth that trade. So you stay stuck, caught between being a pushover and becoming a monster, choosing the slow defeat of staying soft because at least it keeps you clean. You have made being weak into a kind of virtue, and you have been quietly losing your whole life because of it. By the end of this, you will know that the choice itself is a lie. You will understand how a man becomes truly dangerous, formidable, hard to move, impossible to bully, and keeps every ounce of his soul while he does it. There is a way to become a monster without losing the man. One way. And 400 years ago, in a province ruled by fear, a swordsman discovered it, and it is the very thing you have been missing your entire life. If something here begins to land in you, a quiet like helps another seeker find this same fire. Share in the comments the moment you last let someone walk over you. Do not hold back. Another soul out there needs your honesty tonight. And if this is the kind of truth you want more of, walk with this channel a while longer. Now, the province of fear. His name was Tatsuya, and when he was young, he was exactly what you are. Gentle, decent, the boy who stepped aside, who kept the peace, who told himself that his softness was kindness and his silence was wisdom, and his village paid for it, year after year, in a coin he did not yet know he was spending. Because in that province there was a man named Kuro, and Kuro was strong. And Kuro had let go of his soul a long time before anyone could remember. He took what he wanted. He frightened who he pleased. He walked through the village like weather. And the gentle, decent men of that place lowered their eyes and let him, because they were good. And good was all they were, and good with no strength behind it is just another word for available. You know this feeling. You have lowered your eyes. You have told yourself that letting it go was the bigger man's choice, that rising above it was the noble thing, when the truth, the one you do not say even to yourself in the dark, is that you let it go because you were not strong enough to do anything else. Your decency and your weakness had grown into the same root, and you could no longer tell which one was moving your hand. That is where Tatsuya began, and that is the first thing you have to understand, because it overturns everything that comes after. A soft man is not a good man. He only looks like one from the outside. Goodness that cannot protect anything is not goodness. It is helplessness, wearing goodness as a coat to keep itself warm. The day Kuro's men came and took what little his family had, and Tatsuya stood there, gentle and decent and useless, while his mother wept and his father stared at the ground. He understood it all the way down. His kindness had never saved a single person. It had only kept him comfortable while the people he loved paid the bill. Sit with that, because it is the lie that has kept you soft your whole life. You think your gentleness is virtue, pure and simple, and you wear it like a medal. Some of it is virtue, but some of it is fear wearing virtue's clothing, and you have never once forced yourself to look closely enough to tell which is which. The man who will not fight because he truly loves peace is honorable beyond measure. The man who will not fight because he is afraid and calls it loving peace is something else entirely, and he knows it in the quiet hours when no one is there to be fooled. So Tatsuya left, the way you have wanted to leave your own softness for years and never dared. He went up into the cold mountains to an old swordsman the world had forgotten, a man who had once been the most feared blade in the whole country and had laid all of it down and walked away. And Tatsuya knelt before him and asked, with shame in his throat, to be made dangerous. The old man looked at him for a long time, the way the old look at the young when they can see the whole road ahead. And then he said the thing that became the spine of Tatsuya's entire life. He said, "I can teach you to be a monster." That part is easy. Any fool with enough years and enough hatred can be taught to be a monster. The hard thing, the only thing worth a single drop of sweat, is to be a monster and stay a man. That is the way of the sheathed edge. The sheathed edge. Listen closely, because this is the principle the soft will never understand and the cruel will never accept. And you are standing at this very moment between them, belonging to neither. A sword has two parts. It has the edge and it has the sheath. The edge is your capability, the full and terrible measure of what you are able to do. The sheath is your control, the choice of when, and only when, that edge is allowed to leave the dark. The pushover has no edge at all. The brute has no sheath at all. And almost every man you have ever met in your life is one or the other, helpless or out of control, and both of them are owned by something. The way of the sheathed edge is to build the deadliest edge a man can build, and the strongest sheath that ever held one, and to become so formidable that you almost never have to prove it to anyone. This is you right now, getting the whole thing backwards. You think the question is whether to be dangerous. It is not. The question is whether you will be dangerous and controlled, or harmless and at the mercy of everyone around you who is not. You have been trying to stay good by staying weak, and it has worked about as well as it works for everyone who tries it. The old man would say to you exactly what he said to Tatsuya. Weakness is not innocence. It is only untested. You have never had the power to do harm, so you have never once had to choose not to. Do not mistake the absence of the sword for the presence of mercy. They are not the same. They have never been the same. And understand what your softness has actually trained the people around you to expect. Every time you fold, you teach them. Every line you let them cross, you redraw a little further back, and they learn exactly where the new line is. And they learn that even that one will move if they lean on it. You have spent years, without meaning to, training the whole world to take you lightly. The pushover does not earn peace by his softness. He earns a quiet, endless erosion. A life of being slowly stepped over by people who have correctly understood that he will let them. Tatsuya had been that man, and the hardest thing he ever had to accept was that his own gentleness had written the rules that his enemies lived by. So the old man began. And here is what should surprise you, because it stunned Tatsuya. He did not start with the edge, he started with the sheath. For a full year, the boy was not permitted to strike a single blow. He learned instead to stand while another man swung at him and not flinch and not answer. He learned to be insulted to his face and stay perfectly still. He learned to feel the heat rise up his chest, the old hot animal wanting to lash out and make the offense stop, and to let it pass through him like a storm passing over a mountain without moving his hand so much as an inch. You think this made him weak. It made him the opposite of weak, because a man who can feel the full force of his own anger and choose in that exact moment not to spend it has found the one power that almost no man alive possesses. The brute is not strong. The brute is owned. He is dragged around by every provocation, made to dance by anyone clever enough to learn which string to pull. Kuro looked powerful, and he was, but Kuro could be steered by a single well-aimed insult, driven like an ox by his own appetites and his own rage. Tatsuya was learning to become the one thing Kuro could never be in 1,000 years: unmovable. This is the part of you that is still entirely missing, and it is the part you secretly fear the most. You think that getting strong means letting the beast out of its cage. It means the exact reverse. It means building a cage so strong and a will so steady that the beast answers only to you and moves only when you say. The monster you are so afraid of becoming is the monster with no sheath, the man whose power runs him instead of him running it. That man is not free, and he is not even truly dangerous, because everyone around him learns, in time, exactly how to pull his strings and point him where they want. The man you actually want to become, the one you have wanted to become your whole life without the words for it, is the one whose edge is total and whose hand stays calm. And notice what this asks of you, because it is the opposite of what you feared it would ask. You were afraid that becoming strong meant feeding the worst part of you, the anger, the resentment, the wish to get even. It does not. The way of the sheathed edge starves that part. The drills that build the sheath are nothing but 1,000 small refusals of the very thing that turns men into beasts. You do not become a monster by indulging your darkness. You become a monster by mastering it so completely that it has nowhere left to run except into the work. The strong are not the ones who let it out. They are the ones who put it to use and never once let it use them. Only after the sheath was built, only after a full year of swallowing fire, did the old man finally let Tatsuya touch the edge, and then he became merciless. Year after year after year, the boy who had been gentle began to turn into something that province had not seen in a generation. His hands grew fast past the point of believing. His eye learned to see the strike before it was even born in the other man's shoulder. He trained until the sword was no longer a thing he held in his hand, but a part of the arm that held it, until the line between the man and the weapon blurred and then disappeared. The decent boy was becoming, in the most exact and literal sense of the word, a monster, a thing other men would not willingly stand in front of. And as Tatsuya grew deadly, the old man watched him, hour by hour, for the one single sign that would end the training and send the boy back down the mountain ruined. The day the edge began to enjoy itself, because that is the precise moment the soul is lost, and you need to mark it now and carry it, because it is the same moment that lies in wait for you. The way of the sheathed edge is not the absence of power. It is power that takes no pleasure in harm. The instant Tatsuya felt the dark joy rise in him, the wish to use his new and terrible strength simply to feel it land on someone smaller and weaker. The old man would stop him cold and make him kneel in the snow until the joy went quiet and cold and small. "You may become able to destroy," the old man told him. "You may never come to love it. The edge that loves the cutting has already cut its owner first and deepest, and he is the only one who cannot see the wound. Hear this, because it is the entire wall between the man you want to be and the monster you are afraid of becoming. The line is not what you are capable of doing. A truly good man and a truly evil one may be able to do the very same terrible things with the very same trained hands. The line is what you take joy in and what you are willing to do it for, and whether, having started, you can stop. Cruelty is not strength let off its leash. Cruelty is weakness that has finally found something smaller than itself to hurt. The strong have no need to be cruel. Cruelty is the tax the insecure pay in order to feel large for a single moment, and it is the most expensive thing a man can buy, because he pays for it with the only soul he will ever get. And here is the test the old man gave Tatsuya for the line. The same test you can give yourself tonight, because you will need it. Ask not what you are able to do. Ask what you would do to a man who could never fight back. A man already beaten, already on his knees, with no one watching and no one who would ever know. The brute, given that man, finds something to enjoy. The monster with a soul, given that same man, feels the edge stay quiet in its sheath, because there is nothing there that needs cutting, and harm with no purpose is the one thing his whole training taught him to refuse. That is the whole difference, lived out in a single moment. Power is measured by what you can do. The soul is measured by what you will not do when there is nothing and no one to stop you. This is the place to pause and say a brief and quiet thank you. If any of this is reaching the part of you that has been waiting a long time to hear it, a quiet like carries this fire to another person who is just as stuck as you have been. And if there is more truth in you tonight, leave it in the comments, plainly, for the next soul who needs to know he is not the only one. Now hear the turn, because everything Tatsuya built was about to be tested, and so sooner than you think will everything that you are building. He came down from the mountain a different creature than the one who had climbed it years before, and the village felt it before he had said a single word. Something had changed in how he stood, in how he entered a room, in the weight he carried that needed no announcing and no boast. The truly dangerous do not look angry, they look calm. And the calm is the most frightening thing about them, far more than any rage, because everyone can feel the depth of what it is sitting on top of, the way you feel the cold rising off deep water. This is the first gift of the sheathed edge, and it is the one you have wanted most without ever knowing its name. Tatsuya did not have to fight in order to be left alone. The same men who had pushed the gentle boy around for years now found their eyes sliding away from the grown one, found their cruel words dying in their throats before they could be spoken. His power did almost all of its work simply by existing. The strong man at peace is rarely tested because the testing is too expensive, and every man can sense the price written in how he stands. You think you want to win fights. You do not. You want to stop having them. And the only man who truly stops having them is the one everyone around him quietly understands they would lose to. Look at your own life through this, honestly, for once. The reason people press you is not that you are decent. It is that pressing you is cheap. There is no cost to it. You have made yourself the one safe place in the room to dump frustration. The one door everyone knocks on because they already know it will open. The one man whose boundaries can be crossed without consequence. Become formidable, truly, in your skill, in your standards, in your calm refusal to be moved, and watch the knocking slow and then stop. Not because you grew cruel, because you stopped being cheap. And mark the strange mercy hidden inside this, the thing the gentle never see coming. When you finally become strong, you become safe to be around in a way you never were while you were weak. The soft man is full of swallowed resentment, a lifetime of slights he never answered, and it leaks out of him sideways, in coldness, in passive cruelty, in the quiet bitterness of a man who lost every fight he was too afraid to have. The strong man, the one who could answer and chooses peace, carries no such poison. He has nothing to prove and nothing rotting inside him. Tatsuya was gentler after the mountain than he had ever been before it, not despite his terrible edge, but because of it. Because a man who is not afraid has no need to be hard with anyone. This is the gentleness you have been faking your whole life, and will finally, on the far side of strength, be able to mean. But the real test, the one the whole story had been walking toward, came for Kuro, because Tatsuya had not built his terrible edge for nothing, and the man who had terrorized his village for a lifetime still walked it like he owned the very air the children breathed. And here the story does the thing you do not expect, the thing that separates a man with a soul from a man with only a sword. Tatsuya did not hunt him. He could have. He was by now more than a match for Kuro and every hired man Kuro kept at his back. The old gentle boy he had been would have wanted vengeance desperately and lacked entirely the means to take it. The brute he might so easily have become would have had the means and then drowned himself in the vengeance, become the very thing he was destroying. But the man of the sheathed edge had both the full power to destroy Kuro and the full sheath to hold that power still. And so he did the hardest thing of all the hard things he had learned. He waited. He let his strength be known and felt throughout the province, and he let it stay sheathed, and he gave even his enemy the room and the silence to choose another road. This is the part of strength that no one ever tells you, and it is the part that will test your soul more than any other. The weak cannot offer mercy. What the weak offer is not mercy at all, only inability dressed up in grace's clothing and sent out to be admired. Mercy is something only the powerful can give, because mercy, real mercy, is the deliberate choice not to use a power that you genuinely have in your hand. Every single time in your life you have forgiven because you could not retaliate, you were not being merciful. You were being helpless, and calling it a virtue to spare yourself the shame. The day you become truly dangerous is the very first day your gentleness will mean a single thing, because it will finally be a choice and not a lack. Sit with how completely this turns inside out the thing you have been afraid of. You have avoided power your whole life because you believed that power would make you cruel, but you have it backwards, all the way backwards. Without power, you cannot even be kind in any way that costs you anything. Your decency right now is worth almost nothing, precisely because it risks nothing and refuses nothing. Build the edge, and your restraint becomes the most honorable thing about you, the rarest thing in any room, because for the first time in your life it is genuine restraint, and not simply the quiet of a man who never had another option. The day finally came when Kuro pushed past the last line there was, when there was a child in real danger and no more room left in the world to wait, and Tatsuya unsheathed. For the first time in that village's living memory, the full edge came out into the light, and it was over almost before it had begun. the way real power always is, quiet and fast and entirely without theater. He did exactly what the moment required, and not one single stroke more than that. He did not punish. He did not perform for the crowd that had gathered. He did not let their gasping and their hunger turn him into a spectacle of vengeance, though they would have cheered him to the sky for it, though some dark and tired part of him surely wanted to give them the show. And then he sheathed the blade, and he turned, and he walked away in silence. And that walking away in front of a crowd begging for more was a greater act of raw strength than the drawing of the sword had ever been. This is the whole of it, the thing the old man had spent 10 patient years building bone deep into the boy. Anyone at all can use power once it has been drawn. The current of it carries you. The monster with a soul is the one, the only one, who can put it back. The edge that comes out and does only what is needed and not a stroke more, and then returns to the dark of the sheath, taking nothing at all for itself, no extra cruelty, no audience, no savoring of another man's fear. That is the most dangerous and the most honorable thing that a man can possibly be. Kuro was finished that day, and not because Tatsuya was the stronger man, though he was. Kuro was finished the moment Tatsuya proved, in front of everyone, that a man could hold that much power and not be eaten alive by it, because that is the one thing the Kuros of this world cannot survive being shown. So let me leave the mountain now, and the village, and the swordsman who became a monster and stayed a man until the end of his long life. Let me speak only to you, because the story was never once the point. You were always the point. You, and the soft trap you are caught in tonight, and the way out of it that no one in your whole life ever bothered to show you. Here is what to do, and I want you to feel how completely different it is from both of the things you have feared. You will build the edge. You will stop, starting now, apologizing for the simple act of becoming formidable. Take the skill you have been deliberately keeping mediocre because excellence felt somehow aggressive, somehow unkind, and sharpen it past the point of comfort, and then past that. Raise the standard you hold yourself to until it would frankly frighten the man you are tonight. Get strong, in your body, in your craft, in your nerve, in your raw capacity to do hard things that other men flinch away from. And stop, finally, confusing your weakness with your goodness. They were never the same thing. Pretending that they were has cost you every single person you might have protected, and the first of them was always you. And as you build the edge, you will build the sheath, and the sheath matters more than the edge. Never forget that. Learn to feel the full heat of your own anger and not spend it on the first thing that earns it. Practice being provoked and staying still, not because you cannot answer, but because you and you alone choose the when. Let the insult land and watch it pass through you like weather moving over stone. Every single time you feel that old hot wish to lash out and prove yourself to someone who does not matter, and you let it go by, you are not being weak. You are building the one strength almost no man on earth has bothered to build. You are becoming, breath by breath, the man who simply cannot be steered. And you will guard, above everything else, the single line that keeps the soul. The same line the old man would not let Tatsuya cross. Not once, not ever. Watch for the day your new strength begins to enjoy itself. The day you start, quietly, to want a reason to use it. The day you feel that dark pull to make someone smaller just because, now, at last, you can. That is the moment to kneel in the snow until the wanting goes quiet and cold. The power was never the danger. The love of using it is the only danger there ever was. stay able to destroy and refuse every day to come to want to. And here is the truth that holds all of it together. On the hard days when you will wonder whether you are turning into something cold, your goal is not to never use the edge. A blade that can never cut is just a heavy and useless stick. And the soft man hides behind that comfortable lie too, calls his dull stick a sword and his fear a philosophy. Your goal is to become so deeply capable that you almost never have to draw, and so completely controlled that when you finally do, you take nothing for yourself out of it. No cruelty, no theater, no savoring. Only and exactly what the moment in front of you truly requires. And then you put it away clean. That is not coldness. That is the warmest thing a strong man can possibly be, because it spends the whole of his power in the service of something other than his own hungry appetite. You will fail at this. Hear me clearly. You will fail. Some days the edge will come out when it should have stayed in the dark, and you will say the cruel thing you cannot take back, or use your new strength to feel large for a moment, and you will hate yourself for it on the walk home. The boy in the mountains failed too, knelt in that snow more times than he could ever count. Failing is not losing the way. Loving the failure is losing the way. Sheathing the blade again the very next morning, without drama and without despair, simply returning to the path. That is the path. You do not need to be perfect at this. You were never asked to be perfect. You need only to keep choosing the sheath again and again, faster each time. And slowly, in a way you will barely even notice from the inside of it, you will begin to change. The pushing will stop, and you will not be quite sure when it stopped. People will begin to treat your given word as something solid and load-bearing, because they can feel now that you could refuse and are choosing not to. That your yes is the yes of a man who had every power to say no. The fear that getting strong would turn you cruel will fade and then dissolve, because you will have the proof in your own two hands every single day that a man can hold enormous power and still lay it down gently. You will become, at long last, the thing this world is most starved for and most afraid of, both at once. A good man who is not safe to push. A gentle man with a terrible edge, kept sheathed by choice every hour of every day. Imagine yourself 1 year from this night, not hardened into something cold and unreachable, not a brute, not the monster you were so afraid you would have to become. Just a man no one steps over anymore, who never once had to become cruel to earn it. Picture the calm you would carry into every room you walked into, the quiet and settled weight of a man who is capable of far, far more than he will ever bother to show. Picture the people you could finally protect, the lines you could finally hold without your voice shaking, the respect that would come to you and stay, because it would be resting at last on something real and unmovable underneath. That man is not a fantasy. He is not waiting on anyone's permission, or a different nature, or a harder and colder heart. He is on the other side of a single discipline, the edge and the sheath, built together, patiently, day after ordinary day. That is how you become a monster without losing your soul. Not by choosing between the pushover and the brute, the way you thought you had to, but by refusing both of them. You build the deadliest edge that you can, and the strongest sheath that ever held one. You become formidable so that you rarely have to prove it, and so controlled that when you finally do, you take nothing at all for yourself. The strength is for the sheath, and the edge is for the one moment that truly needs it, and the soul is the thing that decides which moment that is. You came here soft, and afraid that the cure was worse than the sickness, afraid that to stop being a victim, you would have to become a villain. It is not so. The cure was never to become hard and lose yourself along the way. The cure was to become dangerous enough, at last, to protect the very soul you have spent your whole life so terrified of losing. The edge and the sheath, build them both, starting tonight. Begin.